Thanks for coming on today. You know, it's not every day that I get one of my fellow men from the local coffee store to, stop on by the studio. And I just want to say, thanks for being here.
Yeah, I don't really shake hands because I got to keep the coffee clean.
Respect, man.
Yeah, dude, I really take it seriously. I've been a barista for about 2 months now, and if there's one thing I learned, any bacteria that gets onto a coffee bean ruins the flavor,
no
the aroma.
Doubt.
Yeah. I accidentally dropped a raisin in a container of Folgers, and it ruined the whole thing.
Oh, God damn it. Was it okay?
No, it tasted like raisins.
Ugh. If there's one thing I can't stand, it's a raisin-y coffee. I mean, that's not dark roast. If anything, that's hell roast. Sorry. Shouldn't have done that again. I gotta work on my listening.
Yeah. I agree.
Is this the pose you take when you pray to the beans? Is this kind of like a mantra that you use against them to be more flavorful?
This is how I express... Yeah. It's sort of like I'm praying to the bean gods.
They're high in a mountain. You gotta pray to them. Gotta give them the respect they deserve.
Mm-hmm. And you're supposed to put your fingertips together like this. And it's a sign of respect to the beans, as beans are about the size of your fingertips.
Right.
When you touch them together like that. Especially when the coffee's brewing.
Now, do you ever find yourself just walking around the house holding beans in your hands? I'm talking 5 beans in between each fingertip.
It's a lot of beans. I try to separate them out, so I'll put. Usually, I'll do one at a time. Especially when I'm grinding coffee beans, I like to grind them one at a time to get a real fine grind.
Right, and that really also shows the respect you're giving to each bean, because you wouldn't dare mix it with other beans.
No, right.
Lesser than that bean.
Yeah, right.
It's kind of you got to keep them separate.
I do keep them separate. It takes a long time to make my coffee in the morning. I'm usually about 4 hours late for work every day because of that. But it gives me a real fine cup of coffee. The trouble is I can only serve 1 or 2 customers per shift.
Right, because you're out of stock before you know it.
It just takes me a while because I'm doing 1 bean at a time. But I think they get it by the end, by the end of their 4-hour wait. They really appreciate having a good cup of coffee.
No doubt. I mean, if I was waiting 4 hours for a cup of coffee, I would be super happy when I got it.
If it tasted good, yeah.
Yeah.
And that's me.
Exactly.
Taste good coffee.
Rami, what is the name of this process of which you prepare each bean? Because I've heard of, wood-fired, I've heard of heat-roasted, but what exactly is yours? There's even snap chill. I mean... For a name like yours, you've got to have something specific.
Yeah, it's called single grind and fire beans.
Sure. Yeah. Single ground fire beans.
Single grind and fire.
Single grind and fire.
Yeah.
That brings us to our first commercial break. Folks, do not forget to grind at your local Planet Fitness. They are there to make you strong. They're there to make you mentally fortuitous. They are there to make you, you. How long have you been in the coffee business?
About 2 months.
2 months?
Yeah. I got involved because I got fired from my job on Wall Street. And I just needed something to make ends meet. And unfortunately, I couldn't get another full-time job. So I just settled with barista.
It's tough out there for stockbrokers.
It is tough out there for stockbrokers, especially for one like me. I have no drive, and I'm generally just lazy.
Come on. You grinding 1 bean at a time? No way.
Well, I mostly came up with the practice of grinding 1 bean at a time so that I didn't have to deal with a whole lot of customers every day.
Right.
But it just ended up being a really good cup of coffee, and now I just do it out of requests from my customers.
Yeah. And how are you doing financially? Do you find that you're able to make all the bills that you're able to pay for?
The bills were I wasn't able to pay them for a long time, and the amount of debt I collected was insurmountable. So I just figured I wouldn't pay it. I make about $5 per cup of coffee. That's $10 a day.
$10 a day.
And
hey,
that's enough to get me by.
that's enough to get anyone by.
I can get 2 bean and cheese burritos from 7-Eleven
Nice.
at the end of every shift.
I
And
house
that
a couple of
sustains
those
me.
every day.
It's, oh.
Almost got you, man.
Ah.
You can't deter the quality of them beans.
No, I can't. So I'm glad that you saved me. That would really hurt me in terms of quality.
Hey, I've got your back.
Yeah, thank you.
Of course. Folks, now it's not every day we get a bean expert in the studio. That reminds me, if you haven't liked and subscribed to my studio time yet, please do. Anyway, back to you. Now, am I right in saying that you did an expedition to the Guatemalan mountains?
I did an expedition to the Guatemalan mountains.
Tell me more.
Well, I took a flight, and it was over to the Guatemala airport, which is at the base of the mountains. And
Great location, if you ask me.
I met a Sherpa named Dave, and he gave me a walking stick and a backpack that had a tent in it. I had plenty of bean and cheese burritos from 7-Eleven to get me through the week.
No
And
doubt.
he took me to the top where the coffee beans were, and I managed to collect a handful, and then I took them back with me home.
So that is why you're preparing them the way you are. Because it's expensive to go to the Guatemalan mountains.
Yeah, it is expensive. I usually bring back enough. It's usually a couple $1,000s to get there, and I'll bring back just enough beans to make 1 cup of coffee, and that seems to make the trip worthwhile.
Yeah. Hey, we all gotta get our jet fuel, am I right?
Yeah. I don't actually collect the jet fuel. I think the airline does that, but
Man, jet fuel's another name for jet black coffee. I thought someone like you would understand the biz, but clearly that one flew over your head.
I don't really get references very well. Jokes are usually over my head. I'm a very straightforward, down to business kind of guy, and when it comes to coffee, I'm very blunt with it. I don't understand humor of any kind.
Hey man, comedy isn't for everyone.
It's definitely not for me. I've listened to jokes. Man, I've spent hours listening to jokes, trying to get a laugh or just any kind of joy out of me, and it just never seems to happen.
Hey man, you'll find your silver laugh someday.
Well, they say when I started as a barista, I was told that baristas often have no sense of humor. So that's why I felt like I fit in perfectly.
Hey man, don't count your beans before they're brewed.
Well, I usually count my beans before they're brewed just to make sure that I'm getting the right amount of beans in every cup of coffee.
Yeah. Has Customs ever given you a problem bringing a handful of beans on the plane?
Yeah, definitely. They don't like it when you try to smuggle foods like coffee beans from foreign countries because of bacteria and stuff like that. So I usually just shove each bean. I individually wrap each bean in cellophane and I shove it up my butt. So I carry about 40 or 50 beans in my rectum each trip.
And that's where the fire flavor comes from.
It is where the fire flavor comes from. Like I said, I eat a lot of bean and cheese burritos from 7-Eleven, and the grease from that usually provides a bit of spice and tang.
Great. Now, I have a question I ask everyone on the program. Are you ready for it?
I am ready.
Would you like to touch mustaches with me?
Yes, we can touch mustaches.
Okay, here I come. Every week it gets better. It sure as hell doesn't get worse.
It doesn't get worse for me. I feel like things are already as bad as they can get. I'm generally unhappy as a barista, and that's why I think I fit in as a barista so well.
Now, you worked in stockbroking, correct?
Yes, I worked in stockbroking. I was making a lot of money, but I lost it all to the SEC for insider trading, and I was promptly fired from my job for getting caught. They condone stealing, but when you get caught, they don't want to hang out with you anymore because they're afraid that you're gonna rat on everybody.
Have you ever thought about suicide, my guy?
I do think about suicide a lot. I think that just comes with the trade of being a barista.
Yeah.
All my barista friends contemplate suicide on a daily basis. If you've ever been to a coffee shop, you know that baristas are generally unkind and unpleasant to deal with.
No doubt.
It's usually because baristas, as part of cafe policy, is to contemplate suicide and do the daily. Well, a lot of people do self-affirmations. We do kind of the opposite. There's self-deprecations. So before each shift, when you're at work, you look in the mirror and you let yourself know that you're a failure. And this is, you wish you made better choices, and you suck. And I say that to myself every day, and I think it gives the beans... I think it gives the coffee a lot of the nutty flavors.
It's not just what comes out of your butt.
No,
it's the defamations.
It's the self-defamations and self-deprecations.
Deprecations, sorry. Sometimes I think of words and they jumble in my brain.
That's how I generally feel on a daily basis.
Speaking of which, we got another sponsor coming your way. Make sure you subscribe for Jungle Brain. It's exactly what you need when you need to wake up in the morning. It gets you big, it gets you strong, it gets you hard. Jungle Brain. My man, anything else you want to say while you are on this program? It's not every day I have a Bean Man with me.
I don't have a whole lot to say. As a barista, I'm generally uncreative, and I usually just like to tell people that you don't really know what it's like to be me. You don't know what it's like to struggle like I do. It doesn't matter where you come from, especially if you're from North Korea. I feel like my problems are a lot bigger than anyone else's, and if you don't, please don't ask me to smile at work.
Would never dream of it, bro. That's reserved for you and your lady, okay? If someone comes asking you for a smile, you tell them to bunker right off, because they are not your girl.
My girl left me years ago. She said...
Bro, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, it's been generally upsetting. I think about it every day. I wish that things could be different. I stalk her and her new boyfriend on Instagram every day, and I send her threatening DMs that are also very desperate to get her back. So simultaneously, I'm begging her to take me back and also calling her a bitch.
My guy. Well, here's to you and your lady. Here's hoping you get her back. Folks, that's the end of our interview today. Thanks for coming by the studio. And do not forget to hit that subscribe button and make sure you smash the past. I'm Henry, and you're...